Hi guys, Trevor Swenson with PTSD, Hope Through the Darkness. My personal journey and battle with PTSD in hopes of helping other people as I walk through recovery and healing myself. I wanted to talk about a term today that's come up a couple of times, and anytime a term comes up a couple of times in my therapy or in my partial hospitalization program or in my studying, I like to be able to share it with you so you don't have to go through those things and can have some knowledge as you seek professional help for yourself. And the term I want to talk about today is distress intolerance. And one of the things that has developed in me that has become very obvious to my family and very obvious to those that are close to me and to my providers is that my distress intolerance has maxed out, has gone way up, and it's a very real part of trauma and stressor-related disorders. And I wanted to give you a few examples on how it plays out and what it looks like in my personal walk with PTSD. And in a nutshell, what it is, it's the inability to deal with any more distress, not being able to tolerate any more distress. And so what it looks like for me is, first and foremost, I have completely withdrawn from people. And when I say completely withdrawn, that's immediate family outside of my wife and kids, and I'm even very distant from them as I struggle as of late. And simple everyday things that healthy people may take for granted are unbelievably stressful for me and are very, very difficult to accomplish. And I can give you a very, very good example that happened just the other day. I had a medical appointment, and as I've shared in the past, that one of my triggers is being scheduled for anything where I need to be somewhere at a given time, because I never know how I'm going to feel. My PTSD is obviously driven by fear and anxiety and worry, and it really is a constant state for me until very late in the day for me, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or later. I start to be able to get my bearings again. And where it shows itself is the anxiety is in my stomach, in my digestive tract, and I'm unbelievably nauseous and don't eat for most of the day, most days. And that's how much of a problem it has become. And then on top of it, knowing that I have to be somewhere at a particular time for something that is not even really a big deal is very distressing to me. And by distressing, I literally mean that it is distressing and painful and scary, and I feel very vulnerable and very fragile and very weak. And one of the blessings in my life has been my dog Murphy, who has helped immensely. And I had a medical appointment not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and he accompanied me on it, and it was really a blessing and a neat thing to have him with, because one of the things that he has trained to do is he's a contact dog, and he senses my distress. He's without any outward physical symptoms, which is one of the terrorizing things about PTSD is it's a wound that you can't see, and it's a pain that you can't relate to because there isn't something tangible or physical that is easily relatable to. But he is trained to sit between my legs and back into me as far as he can back into me and lay his head on my knee, either one of my knees. And he allows me to obviously pet him and to be distracted from what is going on, but just an absolute rock star. Another example, just going out in public is very difficult for me because of the isolation that I've become so accustomed to, that it's very difficult when people initiate conversation with me. And so there's something about having a dog where the conversations that do take place are usually incredibly compassionate, and people usually have a story, and outside of that I am really left alone, which is where I'm at in my journey right now. So he has really helped me there. Another example of distress is that arguments, strife, anything that would be a conflict with another human being would put me over the edge as far as distress goes. My distress tolerance is low. My distress intolerance is very, very high, and it's very difficult to walk through. And I just wanted to talk about that. If you are walking through a trauma and stressor-related disorder, or if you are thinking about getting help, it may be one of the things that you are battling with. And I like to tell my wife, and I just told a psychiatrist the other day, that I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone. And it seems like every situation can turn into a dangerous or scary situation for me. And it's a very difficult quality of life to walk out and to live. But I also want to point out another thing to you, is that I am slowly reintroducing people into my life by choice. I am going to the medical appointments and not calling in and saying I can't make it today. I am going to the grocery store with a short list and working through things along those lines. I am going to places that are safe to me, that are away from my secure place, if you will. And I'm taking steps. And even though there is pain in taking those steps, I have been told, and I know for a fact, that working through the pain and having courage, and courage is simply having fear and moving forward despite the fear. Having courage in things gradually is going to be very important for me in my healing. And I just hope that's an encouraging word for you today, and that you learn another phrase that is very prevalent in trauma and stressor-related disorders, which is distress intolerance. And it's validating, and the reason I want to talk about it is it was validating to me, and I hope it's validating to somebody out there as well, that can say, yeah, that's me. But now I also know that that's part of the deal. And I also know that it's going to take courage, which means facing those fears and working with professionals and getting professional help that is going to get you to that hope through the darkness. This is Trevor Swenson. Glad to be with you. Click subscribe, hit the like button, forward this on to somebody that might help you. I'm glad you're with me. I'm glad to be here.